That is literally our entire deck. And that's how you do that. Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video. And today we are taking a look at a potentially very explosive deck using a new keyword, kind of Vivid. So Vivid, much like the domain keyword, whereas domain gave you extra benefits or value based on the number of basic land types amongst lands you control, Vivid does the same but based on the number of colours you control, obviously from 1 up to 5. I say sort of new keyword because we have had that ability before, most notably on Bloom Tender, which we have in the deck because it's been reprinted in Lorwyn Eclipsed. So Bloom Tender is a 2-mana 1/1 with Vivid, and it basically taps at 1 mana of each colour permanently control. So if you have just a Bloom Tender by itself, it'll tap for green. If you have a blue and green permanent, it'll tap for blue and green. And if you have all 5 colour permanents, it'll tap for Wildberg. Just very quickly about Bloom Tender, you'll notice that I have 2 different versions. I did put a post about this. So Bloom Tender was reprinted in Lorwyn Eclipsed at Mythic Rare. It was originally printed in Eventide back in 2008 at Rare. Always annoying when they do that. However, it's not the first time we've got Bloom Tender on Arena. We had Bloom Tender from a special guest from a year or so ago. Nuka Penna, based on the flavor text. However, even though everything online says the special guest version of Bloom Tender should also be at Mythic Rare, Gatherer says if you look at pictures, the set symbol is definitely the Mythic Rare colour. For some reason on Arena at the moment, don't know if it's always, it's rare. So if you don't want to spend Mythic Rare wild cards on crafting all your Bloom Tenders, if you just click, there's usually like a little button on the top left when you're putting your deck together, and it opens out all the other versions. Click that and craft the special guest versions. Yes, you'll have a mix mash of art, and I think the Bloom Tender art from Lorwyn Eclipsed is a lot nicer, but it is obviously a bit cheaper. So obviously Bloom Tender is a great way to ramp, and we play this card in Brawl all the time. And with Leyline the Guildpact back from Murder the Card of Mana, it is insane. Leyline and Guildpact, like all Leylines, if it's an open hand, you can start it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you can pay for basically hybrid green and then white, blue, black and red. Each non-land permanent you control is all colours, and lands you control every basic land type in addition to their other types. So essentially, if we have this in our open hand, it now turns everything we own into all 5 colours. Our lands tap for any colour, and then if we go turn to Bloom Tender and it survives, which is unlikely, it now taps for Wildberg on turn 3. And what we want to ramp out is Aurora Awakener, and this is what makes it explosive. So if we can do this on turn 3, it's insane. 7 mana, 7/7 with trample, so obviously just really good stats, and it has that Vivid. So when it enters, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X permanent cards, where X is the number of colours among permanents you control, so from obviously 1 to 5, and put any number of those permanent cards onto the battlefield and put the rest of the reveal cards on the bottom of the library in a random order. That's bonkers, because it's basically get down a 7/7 trampler and then put 5 permanents onto the battlefield, or up to 5. And we have ways, obviously, to get all 5 colours apart from Leyline of the Guildpact. And if you hit another Aurora Awakener, you just go again. And it is absolute bonkers. So let's quickly go over our other Vivid cards. So also in at 7 mana 1 is Wildvine Pummeler, 7 mana 6/5 reach and trample. However, it does cost 1 less to cast each colour among permanents we control. So again, if we have Leyline of a Guildpact, this turns into a turn 2 mana 6/5. That's bonkers. 2 copies of Shinestriker, a 6 mana 3/3 with flying. Not the best stats, but when it enters, we draw cards equal to the number of cards among permanents we control. So again, drawing up to 5 cards is really good. In the 2-drop slot, Explosive Prodigy, 2 mana 1/1. When it comes down, it deals X damage type creature and opponent controls, where X is the number of colours among permanents you control. And then they're the only Vivid cards, although we do have some other payoffs. So Puca's Eye, for some reason, doesn't have Vivid, but it should. It's also from Lorwyn. 2 mana, when it enters, draw a card, then we choose a colour. This artifact becomes the chosen colour. So this is great to get the colours we're missing, so we don't have any black or white cards in the deck. So ideally we want to name those, and then we can pay 3 and draw a card, but only if there are 5 cards among permanents we control. Maybe that's why it's not Vivid, because Vivid is it's we have to have 5 colours. We can't do anything if it's 1 to 5. And Shimmerwilds Growth also helps. us get our colours up. 2 mana enchant land. As it enters, we choose a colour. The enchant land is the chosen colour. When enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of a chosen colour. So Shimmerwilds Growth is green, and then we can turn the land into the chosen colour. Lands are normally colourless. Even say like a forest is always colourless. But if we put it on a forest and choose black, it will then count as a black permanent for Vivid, and obviously we'll have a green permanent with Shimmerwilds Growth. Round out the deck, other new cards are, well, the only other new card is Tam, Mindful First Year, 2 mana, 2/2. Each other creature we control has hexproof of each of its colours, and then we can tap Tam. Target creature we control becomes all colours till end of turn. So that first ability is really, really powerful. One, Tam is hybrid, blue-green, so that counts as 2 colours. Really, really good. Giving creatures hexproof against each of their colours is great, especially if we've got a Leyline, because suddenly all our creatures have hexproof from everything. It doesn't make a difference against sweepers, or Iro's Demonstration is really good against this deck, so we've got a lot of cheap 1/1s. It doesn't do anything against them, but it does really help, and our opponent has to take out Tam before taking out anything else. And then tapping to give a creature all colours at end of turn is really good, because this can turn on max Vivid. We could make a Bloom Tender all colours and Bloom Tender taps a Wooburg, or make something all colours before getting down Explosive Prodigy or our Awakener or Pummeler, or if we want to draw with Puca's Eye, that's really, really good. And obviously it kind of acts like a pseudo Mother of Runes or Giver of Runes, which taps to give a creature protection from a colour of your choice, or colourless in the case of Giver of Runes. This can be used for protection that way. And then some old cards, 4 copies of Llanowar Elves, 1 copy of Frostcliff Siege, which we always play on Teamer to give everything trample and haste. Obviously, ideally, we want to hit this with an Awakener, and then suddenly we might have like 4 Awakeners, and then they all have haste just to get in for lethal. But obviously, if we cast it, that's fine too. And then 2 copies of Naga Fleshcrafter. It's a clone, so it's basically a redundant thing for the Awakener. Just be aware, if you don't have an Awakener on the battlefield and you hit a clone off your first Awakener, the Awakener you just cast won't be on the battlefield to be copied by the Fleshcrafter, which is kind of annoying. So this is ideal to hit with your second or third one. You will see in the gameplay I played some of a new clone called Omni-Changeling, which it's 5 mana. So it's 1 mana more expensive than the Fleshcrafter, but it does have Convoke. But I ended up just getting rid of those as going up to 2 Fleshcrafters, because it is a bit cheaper. And so if you need to, copy a Bloom Tender or something else, then great, you can do that. Just slightly easier than using the Omni-Changeling. Mana base, because obviously you are primarily green, then blue and red. We don't have to do any black or white. But 1 Cavern of Souls, 4 named Giant, because the Pummeler and the Awakener are both giants, and you don't want to get to a stage where you can cast a Bloom Tender, but you can cast an Awakener, but your opponent is just holding up blue mana, and it's a bit of a waste. So we have that if we can draw into it, just to make our giants uncounterable. And then 4 Willowrush Verges, 4 Breeding Pools, 4 Thornspire Verges, 4 Stomping Grounds, 2 Steam Vents, because red and blue are our least needed colours, and then just 2 forests to round out the deck. So this is really, really explosive. It can go long as well. Drawing with Puca's Eye is really powerful, and we have, even though we only have 21 lands, we have a lot of incidental card draw from things like Puca's Eye, and ramp with obviously Llanowar Elves, Shimmerwilds Growth, Bloom Tender, and various things like that. So we don't have an issue with lands. Our only removal is Apology, which is good, but it can't go face, which is kind of annoying. So if you're up against a control deck, it just becomes a 2 mana 1/1, which is a bit of a waste. So really, really powerful. Can we be really explosive? But sometimes you do just end up not having what you need at all. I would say if you have a Leyline in the opening hand, keep it, unless it's like 6 lands in a Leyline, because the amount of stuff that Leyline makes the deck so much better is just really, really good. So hope you enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll give a shout out to my patrons, Arcadius, Mayhow, Thomas and Adrian. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you everyone else for your support, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. Opponent goes first. We've got a Leyline and a draw engine. And there's an Aurora Awakener. Will we get to be able to cast it? Well, that took him a while. Suppose it doesn't really matter. Take that. And good, we're up against control. Fantastic. I'll just draw with the eye. And we will make you blue, I suppose. You have a counter spell. Come on. Wow. I will get down the Pummeler then. Have a 6/5. Prodigy only deals damage to creatures, so there's no point running them out. Four, 5. Let's just draw. They'll have a sweeper. They are taking a very long time to do nothing. They still have 2 blue. We'll draw. Find another Llanowar Elves. I imagine this gets countered. They can't 3 steps and draw. This will get countered. Seeing as they just use a split up to kill it. Yep. Well, we'll attack with 1 and then draw with both of our Puca's eyes. There's no point playing out the Aurora Awakener. It'll just get countered. and they do just have obviously loads of counter spells. Well, I'm surprised. Yeah, let's just draw with Puca's eyes, both of them again. I imagine they have a sweeper. Problem is they can just fully tap their white mana for it. We can tap our Llanowar Elves. That sounds really annoying. There goes a Bloom Tender. Get down another Puca's Eyes. Puca's Eye. And we'll play out the Siege. Red. Okay. We have seen a creature. Oh, come on. They are down to 2 cards in hand. We'll hold back in case they have another spit up. Well, they have a counter spell. Or do they have another Aven Interrupter? I mean, it was free. What now? Right, what do we hit? A lot of goodies. You can go there. Right, that's literally almost everything. And then we draw 5. That is literally our entire deck. And that's how you do that. Our opponent goes first. Not the best hand. This is better. We'll ditch a Llanowar Elves. There you go. Well done. You found your 1/1, your 1-drop. I think we'll get out Tam first, seeing as we don't have any Aurora Awakener to get in to play. Actually, no, we'll just get down a Pummeler. The turn 2 6/5 is pretty good against what looks like mono red. Do we find another land? We don't. Well, let's get downtown then. I'd love to be able to double spell. Oh, so they are goblins. Oh, now we can double spell. Bloom Tender. Obviously, everything does have hexproof. Apart from Tam. We'll take out the Seer Slicer Goblin. We do need to find some actual other action. Why didn't you attack with a 1/1? Now we find loads of lands. The Shinestriker, or whatever it's called, would be good. Obviously, the Aurora Awakener. Let's take out the Duelist. I mean, they really should be attacking. They're an aggro deck that isn't aggroing. And we're just not hitting anything, any of our big hitters. Puca's Eye would be good. We could play that and draw. The Shinestriker would draw us 5 cards. And obviously Aurora Awakener. Well, at least we can draw with that. We'll put you on green. Wow, lots of Bloom Tenders. We'll hold one back for some reason. We're not attacking because the Pummelers are the only thing holding them back from attacking. I'm really starting to get irritated. We have 21 lands, so well, that can stop the pummeler from attacking. From blocking. I actually think if they had attacked, we would have lost by now. This takes out their frenzied goblin. Come on, let's get down your bloom tender. Come on, we must find something playable, like actually impactful. There we go. And that should be game, really. Or we could completely whiff. Problem is, the Dynamite Diver and the Firebrand together can kill Tam. No. There. We don't need you anymore. There. 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 And there. They can deal 1 to us. But obviously, that is game. Yeah. If they had attacked earlier, I think they would have won. We go first. I think Leyline the Guildpact's always a keep. 2 bits of removal, and then if we can get up to 6 mana, Shinestriker will draw us a lot of cards. And if this survives, then it will get us up to 6 mana. You can see that coming a mile away. Yeah, there's the red mana. Aura's demonstration. Of course, Iris demonstration. And there's the Aurora Awakener. And we don't find any more lands. Well, there's a land. Do you have it or Quencher? No, apparently. At least we can start drawing with Puca's Eye. But we are on a clock. Oh, there's a Bloom Tender, which I imagine doesn't survive. Tam does not help against Iris Demonstration either because it doesn't target. We'll put you on green. They ditch a combustion technique. Oh, they're back up to 4 cards. I'm starting to get very annoyed. We're only another land away from being able to play out the Aurora Awakener. Oh, there it is. I still think they have a counterspell. Yeah. I think they have more than one. I would love our... I would love our Cavern of Souls. Just tap out. You're fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've tapped out. You That's annoying. You are not meant to be in our hand. Why? And it's tapped. Doesn't matter. Giant. Fantastic. Well, let's get you down. Let's get you down. Let's get you down. And then take out you. There's Llanowar Elves. We'll pitch a breeding pool. They're down to 3. Can they just... They might be able to just drain us. Yeah, that's 9. And if I attack, I can do it on our turn. Well, they can't now. They've got no lands. They've got no mana. They should have done that on our upkeep. They could have won. Yeah. If they had attacked and then done that on our upkeep, because there's no sorcery speed restriction on Aknaquella, they could have won. So that was a massive whiff by them. We go first. No ramp. But we can get down 8, turn 2, 6, 5. Which I suppose will have to be good enough. And we've got 2 of them and all. They've got a herd heirloom. But I think we just plan to beat down. I mean, if we draw our Frostcliff Siege, they're dead. Well, we didn't draw Frostcliff Siege, but never mind. Doesn't matter. We'll shock you in and Shimmerwilds Growth on, doesn't matter, black. But they need quite an impressive turn with their Outcaster Trailblazer to get out of this one. I mean, that's... I don't think that's it. Actually, that might be it. We can kill one of them. They do get to draw a card. I mean, then we get to kill 2 of them. So let's kill Surak. They do get to draw a card. And let's kill the Battle Crier. I mean, they almost got out of it. That was a very impressive turn. But they can block 6, and we have 12, and they only have 2 life. We go first. Well, I think we get down we keep this. We can get down a Puca's Eye. You can enter tapped. We can shock in the second one. They have a Halia. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to shock that in. So their life gain, hopefully, won't have a huge amount of removal. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let us put this on black. Put this on white. And then if we Bloom Tender, I believe the only... I believe this will be 4 and we can kill the Prodigy. Courageous Rescuer even. Yep. And then we can get down on Llanowar Elves. And Shinestriker will give us blue. Yeah. That's annoying, but not the end of the world. We are down to 10. That is quite bad. Well, there's an Awakener. We'll hold back. There is Halia. Right. We Awakener. Puca's Eyes, Breeding Pool, Leyline, Puca's Eye, Tam. That is a bit of a whiff. There's a Bloom Tender. I suppose it doesn't really matter anymore. Well, we get our Bloom Tender because the next turn we can copy our Awakener. With the Fleshcrafter. Been interesting life gain synergy they've got. They need to take out Tam before being able to take out anything else. And there is another Tam, and they scoop. We can Fleshcrafter, copy the Awakener, and then hopefully hit more Awakeners. But we can draw with Puca, get down Pummeler, and then probably draw with our other Pucas already in play, and probably hit stuff. We go first. We can give something all colours with Tam, so we can do interesting things with Vivid. But yeah, not a great start. Do they have something else? Well, there's a Aurora Awakener. Let's take out you. We will hold up Tam as pseudo protection. Well, that's annoying. We'll take out the Glory Heathlinks. They have another Glory Heathlinks. Oh, let's Puca's Eye. You can be on black. And I think I want to hold up the card draw. Well, fair enough. We will do that now then. There's the tender. Yeah, we will take 2. Do you have a sweeper? Yeah. on, I suppose, black again. Annoyingly, only 2 colours now. Ooh. I've literally never seen this card before. So we've got green, you're black. Let's do blue. So it's a bit of a weak one. You've got indestructible. They do gain 3. But we can copy our Awakener, assuming they don't. That last card's not a sweeper. Oh, come on, don't do that. Why that? Why the 6/5 trampler? Oh, we will pay normally. You. 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 Fortunately, we didn't hit our siege. And this is still not in our hand. Why can we not? Oh, we don't have 5 cards among permanents. Which one are we missing? White. Our opponent was getting antsy. Wow, okay. Don't really need any of these creatures out. And that stays alive. We are flooding out, bizarrely. We only have 19 cards left. They have a Caretaker's Talent. Why aren't you doing it again? We can't have that many lands left in our deck. Yeah, they do get a draw. Oh, we're pitching that. That was unfortunate for them. Get you down. Seriously? This is kind of strange. Now they can just draw loads. We will block there. We don't have too many cards left in our library. Right. 5, 12, 20. We'll hold back our 2 Llanowar Elves. They get the draw. They get the draw again. Honestly, don't know how many creatures we have left in our library. We won't take our Shinestriker. Maths is for blockers. They're effectively at 12. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy. 1 card left in our library.